Hi, and welcome to my Capstone Symposium presentation. My name is Sarah Doolittle, and the title of my project is The Hidden Health Risk Next Door, Tackling Urban Noise with Resonator-Enhanced Barriers. My site partner was a limited lab, my site supervisor is Lauren Keeney, and my faculty advisor is Professor Wang at the Program of the Environment. And today I'm excited to talk to you about a hidden but serious health risk that many of us live with every day. We often don't think of noise as more than a mild annoyance, but the reality is that long-term exposure to noise pollution has been linked to many different health risks, including increased stress, disrupted sleep, cardiovascular disease, and cognitive impairments and learning impairments in children. It's a public health issue that impacts the quality of life, and yet it's overlooked and underregulated. Transportation noise is one of the most pervasive noise pollution sources, and today we will focus on traffic noise specifically. Where in Seattle, traffic noise often exceeds 60 dBA near major corridors like I-5 and Highway 99, which is above the EPA's recommended health threshold of 55 dBA. The most common mitigation strategy that we have right now to reduce traffic noise are concrete sound barriers. They're the walls you might see on either side of you when you drive down a freeway. And although they do help reduce noise to some degree, they have some significant limitations. Low frequency noise, which is commonly produced by highway traffic, it diffracts or bends over traditional concrete barriers, making it very difficult to block with current infrastructure. It also penetrates very easily through building walls and contributes significantly to the health risks associated with noise pollution. So, given the persistent health risks posed by traffic noise pollution and the shortcomings of our current solutions, there's a clear need to evaluate how well current infrastructure is performing and also explore new and innovative strategies that can more effectively protect public health. This leads me to my research project, which focused on one central question. How effective are highway noise barriers in protecting public health, and how can we improve them using resonator technology? And through my capstone internship, I worked with the limited lab at UW to address this challenge by assessing how we can improve existing noise mitigation strategies and research further into resonator technology. My role focused on analyzing the effectiveness of traditional sound barriers by modeling the current baseline of population health risks, by modeling highway noise exposure in our study area in Ravenna, Seattle, which is neighborhoods surrounding I-5, where there are currently sound barriers in place. If you take a look at Figure 2, this shows where it is in the broader context of the city of Seattle. And using softwares like noise modeling and QGIS, I created a model of noise contours or noise levels, and then quantified how many residents are currently exposed to each noise level. I then applied established exposure response relationships, or the relationships between noise levels and their associated health risks from scientific literature, to understand the population health outcomes for this neighborhood. We also explored innovative solutions like resonator technology, which are small structural cavities that can be embedded onto noise barriers to help reduce sound. I conducted a comprehensive literature review of 37 studies to evaluate how resonator technology can enhance traditional barriers and also how we can be more informed about how to implement these into further solutions. And the result of this spatial and population health analysis demonstrated that even with existing noise barriers, large portions of the population remain at risk. Figure 2 places the study neighborhood in the context of the broader Seattle area, and Figure 3 shows the resulting noise exposure models for 55 dBA and up. Each contour of color represents a specific noise level above this threshold. And the results show that over one-third of the neighborhood's population, so over 2,500 people, are exposed to traffic noise levels above 55 dBA, despite the presence of noise barriers in this neighborhood. And these residents in particular are increased risk for stroke, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, and sleep disruption. And this analysis makes it clear that there's a need for improvement in our current noise mitigation strategies. And to explore possible improvements to these barriers, I conducted a literature review of the resonator technology, or Helmholtz resonators, which are small structural cavities represented by the resonator model in Figure 4, which shows a neck leading to a hollow chamber. And these chambers have the ability to absorb sound, not just reflect it the way noise barriers do. And there's a large body of research that shows how resonators effectively absorb sound across a broader range of frequencies when assembled in arrays. And these arrays can also reduce low frequency noise by 5 decibels or more. And it's really important because the dimensions of these cavities can be altered. So, like the chamber and neck size or shape can be changed in order to tune them and target these specific frequencies, like low frequency noise, which we established diffracts over the noise barriers and impacts homes significantly. So, these resonators offer a very promising way to target, reduce a very harmful type of noise and enhance the noise mitigation capabilities of existing infrastructure. And these findings show that current noise barriers fall short in adequating public health. And so, for our key takeaways, knowing this about noise barriers and knowing this about resonator technology, we can also use these population health modelings with noise exposure data to better quantify the public health benefits of mitigation strategies, which can also highlight how resonator enhanced barriers are promising an adaptable solution that might be able to outperform our traditional noise barriers in some ways that are very critical for improving public health. And this work matters not only because noise is a public health concern, but because it's also an environmental justice issue. Communities near highways are often those already burdened by other health and economic stressors. By building a GIS population-based health modeling workflow to create these models, it can be used to fill a gap in noise exposure assessment where tools in quantifying population health are very sparse. And so this methodology can be recreated for other noise issues to advocate for more equitable protections. And so after sharing these results with stakeholders like the Washington State Department of Transportation, we had important conversations about how to move this work forward. And some of the key next steps that we discussed included conducting larger scale research to find the best designs and placements of resonators on barrier walls. To understand how to implement them onto infrastructure, we also need to understand the best materials and long-term maintenance requirements. Lastly, expanding access to community-level noise monitoring can also better inform communities of the risks that are posed to them and also help us inform us where mitigation is most needed. Thank you, and I'd like to thank and acknowledge my site supervisor, Lauren Keeney, and my faculty advisor, Professor Wang, for their mentorship during my capstone project. I also want to thank my friends and family for supporting me throughout this experience. Thank you for listening.